the TaylorMade Spider Tour Series putter. There are 4 in their range, and I've got all 4 with me. They're going to be releasing one more a little bit later on, maybe into 2024, but I thought today we could have a look at all 4 models, talk about what TaylorMade are saying about these models, and see how they perform and how they're going to work for you. You know, when I think about putters that have stood out amongst the crowd throughout generations, throughout the years, I think of players and situations that relate to that putter. So the Newport 2 by Scotty Cameron and Tiger Woods, the 2-ball putter, which is the #1 selling putter ever. And then maybe the ping answer when you think about someone like Seve, who won the British Open Championship back in the 1980s. You think about that particular putter. I think they go hand in hand. Now, when it comes to TaylorMade, absolutely this Spider putter really jumps out. You think about people like Dustin Johnson, you think about Rory Mcilroy, all have used this particular style of putter throughout the years. And like I said, we've got 4 different models that they've released with this new Tour Series Spider range. Now the putter in my hand is the kind of what I feel the standard, the Tour version. We've also got the X, the V and the Z as a different offering, which again, different looks down at the ball, but also different weight positions for different styles of putters. And then when you look at the bottom of all of these putters, this is where you're going to start to notice the difference in where they're positioning the weight. If the Tour one, you've got the weights pushed in at the back there, whereas the Z and the V, the weights have been brought slightly further forward. The engineers at TaylorMade just moving CG around, again, like I said before, to focus on different style of putters, so more of a feel. You know, where's that head feeling during the stroke and how is it performing for you personally? Now, when I think about the Spider putter throughout the years, I think about stability, forgiveness, MOI, all these words that allow us to get the confidence with these longer putts. If we don't get that strike absolutely perfect. So TaylorMade focusing on very much this again when they're coming into this new line with this thin wall undercut construction and a steel wire frame. Again, the idea of this is to save weight, take weight from different positions around the head and distribute it in areas that are only going to help us when we don't quite strike it at the middle of that putter. Now, am I getting a sense of the weight being moved around the head? Not really. If I compare it to, let's say, previous models that I've putted with in years gone by, I'm not really getting a different sense, but then I'd probably have to hit an awful lot of putts to get the numbers of how I'm doing throughout maybe a season to really sort of feel the difference. However, what I am feeling is an extremely soft face. Well, TaylorMade have focused on what they feel is a premium feel off this face with a white pure roll TPU insert, and you can also see that they've got some grooves, and I don't think this is particularly new. I've seen this on other TaylorMade Spiders in years gone by, but they've angled them kind of 45 degrees this way, kind of leaning towards us in order to give us that perfect roll off the putter face. And for me personally, I actually really like that kind of soft insert. It gives you the option to use different styles of balls and not maybe feel much of a difference between them, which I think is quite nice, but also it gives you that little bit of confidence that you should get the perfect roll even on kind of winter greens like this. Now, the other thing that I've noticed when I've been out here putting is this collaboration sticker on this beautiful black shaft, which is the KBS TaylorMade sticker, sort of saying that they're working with a high profile shaft company to help with performance, and their Hybra echo dampening technology that TaylorMade have put into this as well, tucked in behind those grooves. The idea is to take away vibrations with those off-centered strikes. So if you get a long putt and you don't quite catch it, you might feel a little bit of a shudder up the shaft. The idea of the combination here is that you should lose that and still have that premium feel that they're saying that we're all looking for. Now for me, looks down by the ball is extremely important, and I think TaylorMade have really focused on this throughout the generations of this Spider kind of range. That original one, which we can see in the tour head there, is going to suit lots of golfers out there, but there's also players that kind of liked the idea of it, but not necessarily the overall look of it, and I think that they've looked at maybe some different styles of heads to suit different types of golfers out there. And I gotta say, this gunmetal kind of PVD finish, which is what TaylorMade are calling it, it does look actually really quite classy when you look down at it. And this white kind of line in the back of the head with that black line in the middle of it, again, making it really, really easy to be able to line up. For me personally, I like maybe a slightly smaller line. I don't like that long line. As soon as I get it too long, it kind of distorts where my actual aim or alignment is going. But that's just a personal preference for me. It's not going to be for everybody out there. But I do like that kind of grey kind of finish on it. I think it does look pretty classy down by the ball. Another important thing to me personally is what the offering is from a fitting point of view. That's kind of like the PGA Pro in me, or the fitter in me, that wants to give me options when it comes to putting people into different style of putters, because you may like one of these style of heads, but actually if the neck of the putter or the shaft going into the head is not suited for your stroke, then ultimately we can't put you in that putter. So what TaylorMade have done is that in each offering, they've given us 2 different neck styles to be able to give us a couple of options when it comes to that putter fitting. We've got the small slant, which is this smaller neck going into the head from the shaft. This is something you're going to see possibly Rory and Mcilroy use. And then we've got the double bend. Now this particular one is more of what I would call the traditional look when I've seen Spider putters in the past, or when they first originally released this particular model. And the idea of the double bend is it gives us that kind of face balance. So when it sort of sits, it sits pretty square to that position. And then when we go to this small bend one here, we've got a slight toe hang, and this is really important, and the importance of you going to get fit. With that smaller neck coming into the head, you're going to get what they call a little bit more flow of the putter head. Now this is the style that I would personally go for, because when I've used face balance putters in the times gone by, I've pulled them a lot. So as I pull on that putter, what you're going to find is as you pull on the putter, it's going to possibly open up a fraction as you kind of come into impact. For me, when I've kind of tried to pull on a face balance putter, this is where the putter doesn't open up, and then I start to get it almost like closing down and pulling that putt. So have a think about it from your own style of putting. Are you somebody that struggles maybe with your putting and tends to pull your putts, or do you push them a little bit? And that can give you a sense of the type of neck that you'll want to go into. So if you're somebody that pulls the putter, have a little look at maybe a slightly shorter neck or a bit more toe hang. If you're somebody that pushes your putts, then maybe look at something that's maybe a little bit more face balanced. But what I love about this is that TaylorMade are giving us the options to go and get fit, to fit into the head that we really, really like. Well, there you have it. There is my review of TaylorMade's Spider Tour Series putters. I think there's so many different offerings available that TaylorMade have given us, and I think it's going to tick the box for so many golfers out there. We're looking for stability, we're looking for help when it comes to off-centered strikes, and I think the Spider range is pretty much going to get you covered. But I'd like to hear what you think. Are you going to be going out and testing this new particular model by TaylorMade? Down there in the comments. And if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll see you again on the next video.